October 2016, Dead by Daylight released Chapter 2, Halloween, which gave birth to the most important, the most controversial, the most talked about, the poster child of all toxicity in this game. I want you to please give a round of applause for our one and only Decisive Strike. Decisive Strike was put into the game to allow survivors a second chance. Now, at this time, I did not play Dead by Daylight this early on, so I am unsure of the toxicity in the game when it was in its very early stages. All I know is that the perk was met with some criticism and had patches here and there along the way. As time went on and the game was getting more popular day by day, more criticism was being directed at the perk, which caught the devs' attention, and they started releasing various patches. And finally, after 2.5 years, we finally got the Decisive Strike that we now know today. So let's talk about Decisive. So I know the only old rule I could really find from the official Dead by Daylight page was that Decisive could be used on the first down. As of right now, the perk is inactive and you have to unhook or be unhooked. There is now a timer on the perk. So depending on the tiers, there is a 40, 50, 60 second window that you have where it is active. Then if a survivor was not the obsession, they then become the obsession once they hit a successful skill check. Which that'll actually be really good if a killer is running obsession related perks. And then it's only active once. Once they hit or unsuccessfully hit that successful skill check, the perk is no longer active. So this is what I want to break down to y'all. So to the person running Decisive Strike, because killers keep saying that this perk is so toxic, you already have to hook the survivor. So at this point, as of January 2nd, 2021, you already have to have them hooked. So at this point, when they get hooked again, they're struggling. And then when they get hooked again, they're done. It's not like it was before. Then there is a timer on the perk. So the timer is there depending on the tier, right? So when they're getting unhooked, that means there might be a second and or a third survivor around. While there's probably one doing a gen or doing nothing at all, depending if you got a sack of Idaho potatoes for teammates. You're telling me that you complain about dealing with Decisive Strike, but the whole point is so that it's an anti-tunneling perk. So if there's another survivor or two other survivors, or hell, even three, if you're actually messing with the other survivors, you're actually being active with the other survivors, you don't have to deal with Decisive Strike, because Decisive Strike won't be active. Why? Because you should have spent 60 seconds or 50 seconds or 40 seconds chasing a whole nother survivor instead of chasing the survivor that just got off the hook. Then you have the obsession. So if you're running decent perks, especially perks pertaining to the obsession, I'm having a hard time understanding why that if you do have to deal with Decisive Strike, why you would lose them after the 4 seconds, not 5, but the 4 seconds you have, because you should be able to see them right there. You know what I'm saying? And then once it's activated, it's only activated once. And actually, that's even if they don't hit it, because some people aren't even that good at the skill checks. Actually, it's a lot of people. God, it's a lot of people that are not good at skill checks. So I'm confused as why you have an issue with the perk when whether they hit it or not, it's still going to be inactive. I mean, you keep saying nerf it some more, nerf it some more. How much more do you really want them to nerf this perk? Because at that point, what's the point of having the perk? Just meant that you don't really want a nerf. You want it to be abolished. You want it to be out of the game. I'm sorry, but they get rid of Decisive Strike, which they said they're not going to, because they're seeing these games. I mean, there's literally a game that's being played on my screen, on your screen, being played on your screen that you can see what the hell I had to endure. You mean to tell me that, because they're saying the same shit I'm saying, a killer will literally hook a survivor, then camp that survivor for 30 seconds, or patrol. Then they'll leave when they see 2 gens getting done, and they're like, what the hell? Shraggy? Then the survivor will finally get unhooked. Then the killer runs back to the survivor. The survivor then, gets down, then uses DS. Then loops the killer for another minute. So now at this point, if the survivors are not Idaho potatoes, there should be a gen left, or none at all. Then you may or may not down that survivor. But either way, if they get down, you'll camp them, and the 3 other survivors are escaped, or you end up having all 4 survivors escape for whatever reason. Then you'll go on Reddit, typing up a storm, talking about, oh my God, I had to deal with a Swift. I just got gen rushed, and then I got abused with Decisive Strike. They need to get rid of Decisive Strike. I'm so tired of Swifts. Gen speeds are out of control. And whole time, the team wasn't even a Swift. Only one person used Decisive Strike. And as far as the gen speeds, that's up for debate. I'm not even going to talk about it. But the perk is fine. The perk is where it should be right now. I actually think they did a pretty good job with this perk. Because usually they fuck up. But this time they did a pretty fantastic job with the perk. It's like a Know It or Undying or Devour Hope. Any other one, it's powerful. And I guess y'all can't handle the fact that there's an actual powerful perk, especially here lately with these characters and these trash perks they keep putting out for the most part. For some reason, y'all can't handle that. But the perk is fine. There is no need to nerf the perk. Like I said, you need to understand this is literally an anti-tunneling perk. That's the point. I mean, I think they had Unbreakable slugging, especially. I remember like 2017, I'm sure 2016. The slugging was a big deal, bro. Like, why do you think there's Unbreakable? Unbreakable's there because it's to counter the slugging. They're countering bad tactics that are being used. So, yeah, they're not going to nerf it. What the hell? I mean, now I will say there's instances that a Swift will abuse Decisive Strike. And I believe that. I know it's hard to be only one killer and you got to deal with 4 people that are communicating on a mic or whatever else they're using. I get it. And there are ways to combat Decisive Strike. I mean, okay, let's say you do go after that survivor for whatever the reason is that you went after him. So you're going after the survivor that you just got unhooked. Okay, so you can either leave him alone for 60 seconds and maybe stay in the area, but then it depends. Then maybe you could, I don't know, chase the other survivor. You could just deal with the Decisive Strike. I mean, it went from being 5 seconds to being stunned to 4 seconds. And if you should have decent perks, I don't understand what the problem is. You should be able to see them, especially when it finally might enter endgame. I mean, you have to make the decent judgment in the call to be able to handle it. I mean, for Know It, Know It's a pretty powerful perk during endgame. So, if a lot of times, especially, I'm at rank 7, about to be at rank 6, and purple ranks, they'll still run out the door. And I don't blame it. I don't get mad. I still run out the door if I can't find a Know It. I'm not going to waste my time in deep hip. I'm sorry. So, what do? To counter it? You counter Know It by destroying the totems. You counter it by destroying the totems in game prior to end game, or someone happens to find the totem during end game. So, I mean, this game is all about how to outsmart and how to out-counter other people with powerful perks and playstyles and skills. That's the point. It's a strategy game. So, only thing I can really say is that, again, the perk was put in there for a specific reason. They set it themselves on stream back in like November. They're not going to get rid of it. They're not going to nerf it. They'll look into it maybe, just like they're going to look into Undying. But like Undying, they see no reason to nerf Decisive Strike. I'm not going to. I mean, there's too many bad killers out here that play the way they play. And at the end of the day, man, you already know it's all about money too. And if you think they're going to lose 4 people for 1 person, it's not going to happen. But there's really no need to nerf it at all. I can't say it's even about money. I think that's stupid to nerf it. It's stupid to nerf Unbreakable. You have a problem with the medals or whatever. With Unbreakable with Decisive Strike. I mean, it's like me getting mad with a killer for bringing Undying. Pop goes the Weasel. Some other shit. And fucking Ebony Mori. I'm just saying. But, what do you guys think? You can definitely leave your opinion in the comments below. Just be respectful. I know I don't need no slander. I wouldn't slander y'all like that. You know what I mean? Because I could have got a lot more disrespectful about it and been like, man, I ain't doing all that. I was going to be respectful. And I also try to see it from y'all's side too. So, like I said, just leave a comment. Say what you have to say. You know what I mean? Let me know. I'll definitely reply in agreement. So I might, contest a little bit respectfully. Don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm trying to put out a video of like certain builds that I've like kind of figured out just randomly playing. But then I keep getting them fucking tunneled. So, you know what I mean? And my Jake, first, we don't have Decisive Strike, the poster child of toxicity. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for that, because I keep getting freaking tunneled, and playing by yourself is so freaking garbage, dude. I keep getting Idaho potatoes. But yeah. So what you guys think, man? I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. It's what, January 2nd, man. Enjoy the freaking New Year's. You know, yeah, 2021. I can't tell much difference between 2020 and 2021, but you know, hey, we're here. So yeah. Y'all remember to stay safe out here. Remember to protect yourself and protect your vibe. And with that, bro, Swervo is out. I'll catch you guys later.